Okay, so welcome back, and now what we're going to do is we're going to do an example, and we're going to do the first three Taylor polynomials. And so what we're going to do is we're going to use the function f of x equals the natural log of x, and we're going to do it at x equals 1. So a is equal to 1 here. Okay, and so the first thing is if we're going to do the first three Taylor polynomials, or the first four I should say, then we're going to need to know the first three derivatives, okay, and then evaluate those functions and the derivatives at x equals 1, right, because we need to find f of a. And again, a is equal to 1 in this case. So let's start with the three derivatives. So the derivative of the natural log of x is 1 over x. And then the second derivative is going to be negative 1 over x squared. And then the third derivative is going to be 2 over x cubed. Okay? And so now if we evaluate each one of these derivatives at x equals 1, including the function, then f of 1 equals 0. Natural log of 1 is 0. And then f prime of 1 is going to be 1. F prime of 2 is going to be negative 1. And then f prime of let me regroup that. So f of 1 is going to be 0. F prime of 1 is going to be 1. F double prime of 1 is going to be negative 1. And then f triple prime of x, or the third derivative of f of x, is going to be 2. Okay, and so now that gives us everything we need to write the polynomials. So P0 is just f of a, right? Which in this case is just f of 1, which in this case is 0. And then P of P sub 1 is what? It's going to be f of a plus f prime of a, which in this case, f prime of a times x minus a. But again, a is 1, right? So this is going to be equal to f of 1 plus f prime of 1 times x minus 1. Which in this case, well, this is just 0, right? So that means this is an f prime of 1 is just 1. So guess what? This just becomes x minus 1. Now, for the P sub 2, we get, again, the same thing. We get 0 plus x minus 1 plus, now we get what? It's going to be negative 1 over 2 factorial times x minus 1 squared, right? And so what do we get? Well, now this becomes negative 1/2 times this. So our polynomial, if we simplify this, is going to be x minus 1 minus 1/2 times x minus 1 squared. Okay, and now if we do the third one, again, this again is just going to be what? It's going to be f of a plus f prime of a plus f double prime of a divided by 2 factorial times, keep dropping my factors. This should have x minus 1 here, and then plus f double prime of a divided by 2 factorial times x minus a squared, and then plus f triple prime of a over 3 factorial times x minus a to the third power. But again, a is equal to 1, and, oops, hold on. Okay. So a is equal to 1, and then we have the values of the functions and the derivatives at x equals 1. And so again, if we plug it in what we have for P2, right, and then add for the third term, this will simplify to what? It will simplify to the following. It will be x minus 1 minus 1/2 x minus 1 squared, and then we have the third derivative here at 1 is equal to 2, so that's going to be plus 2 over 3 factorial, which is 6, times x minus 1 to the third, which 2/6 becomes 1/3. So that's going to become 1/3. Okay, and those are the polynomials. That's it. That's how you do it. Okay, we'll come back and we'll do another example. Have a great day.